Black Ops 3 Specialists. You may be thinking, what on earth is that? It's a huge new addition to Black Ops 3 multiplayer, and I'm here to let you guys know what it is, how it's going to work within multiplayer, and some of the additional things that I've seen already of this in action when I flew out to LA to check out Black Ops 3 multiplayer early over at the awesome Treyarch offices. So of course every year Call of Duty comes out, multiplayer comes out, and the developers try and include something that really switches it up from the previous years and add something new and fun. And Specialist is by far one of the biggest changes to Black Ops 3 multiplayer, so let's just jump straight into it. Specialist is essentially the ability to choose a character, a unique character, and one of either their abilities or special weapons to use in a multiplayer game to assist you alongside everything else that's going on. So there are 9 specialist characters that will be available to choose from. So far we've only got information and seen 4 in action, so we're going to go through all of those abilities that we know so far, but 9 characters to choose from. This is a choice you make before you jump into a game. It's going to determine how your character looks in game, and of course which special ability or weapon you're going to be able to earn yourself while playing multiplayer. I'm not going to lie, when I was at Treyarch offices and they started explaining this to me, having not played the game, I was like, what on earth is this? This is gonna ruin multiplayer. It's gonna allow for just bad people to get easy kills. Why is this happening? But luckily, you know Treyarch, man, they're balancing this stuff out and they're making it work. And having experienced it, if anything, all it does is add to the fun factor. And if you're having one of those bad games, you can know that in the bottom right of your screen, you can see your specialist weapon or ability charging up, and you can pop that, have a bit of fun, and it just adds to the overall action of multiplayer. So, with 9 characters to choose from, each of these characters has their own special weapon ability. So with 9 characters to choose from, each of them have their own power weapon and their own special ability. So you will only choose one of these, either a power weapon or an ability, and you'll be able to take this into multiplayer. So can you use it as soon as you spawn in? No, this is on a timer system which will gradually build up the power levels of the ability or the weapon you've chosen, and once it's filled up you can then activate it and use it on the spot. Once you've used it, it has a time limit on it. You then have to refill that bar to get it all the way back up again to use it for another time. However, if you go and earn yourself kills, capture points, etc., all of that score that you're earning will slightly accelerate how quickly you can actually earn either that power weapon or that ability. On average, it's going to take you around 2 or 3 minutes to earn a power weapon in multiplayer, and anywhere between 1 and 2 minutes to earn an ability, depending on how well you're playing, of course, and how much additional score you're getting to accelerate the fulfilling of that bar. The progress will not reset when you die. However, if you go ahead and use your ability, once it's run out, you then have to build it all the way back up again. And in terms of activating it, you're going to be hitting the 2 bumper buttons that will be typically your grenade or stun options. So be it R1, L1, or whatever you are on any other console. So you hit those 2 at the same time, boom, it's activated, and you can go and use it for the limited amount of time that it lasts. So hopefully everything makes sense so far. Let's jump into the 4 characters that we've seen so far and actually give you real life examples of their power weapons and their abilities that you can choose. So first of all, let's take a look at Rouen. Rouen we have actually seen within the reveal trailer. I pointed it out as being multiplayer. You can see him on screen here looking pretty badass, and you can see his biotech arm as well, and his power weapon is gravity spikes. He pulls these out, jumps up in the air, slams onto the ground, shoves him into the ground, and sends out like a wave, basically a burst of energy that will wipe out any players, killing them instantly that are within that radius. It's similar to a big ability you can actually get in Destiny. For those of you guys that play Destiny, I know people are going to say that they've copied Destiny, but it is very similar. But the blast radius was fairly large when we were playing the multiplayer build at Treyarch offices, but as I have said many times, the build we were playing was pre-alpha, which means it's early development stages, which means all this stuff is going to be tuned, but that's what Rouen's special power weapon is, the gravity spikes. If you're into just jumping on a point, for example, and blasting everyone out the air, that's going to work for you. His ability is Overdrive, and this is going to give you a short burst of speed for a short period of time. So I didn't use this personally, but I did see it in action, and you were pretty rapid. It's basically very good if you want to get to an objective quickly, or if you want to just get around the map as effectively as possible. So if you, for example, are in the middle of a game, maybe you're on one side of the map and the enemies are capturing another point over on the other side of the map and you want to get there quickly, you can pop your ability Overdrive and sprint there nice and fast. Of course, you're going to be a little bit harder to hit because of how quickly you're going, so it's sort of all situational. So that's what we know so far for one of the characters, Rouen, covering the gravity spikes and the Overdrive ability. Let's move on to Seraph. So Seraph has a very, very cool power weapon. I used her power weapon the most when I was playing the alpha build of Black Ops 3 multiplayer, and again we saw this in action within the reveal trailer and I pointed it out to you guys. This is a monstrous pistol. Treyarch said that this pistol is so powerful that if a normal person tried to shoot it, it would just blast their arm away, but Seraph has of course, biometric thingamabobby arm, which means it's really, really strong, so she can control this weapon, and it is a one-shot, one-kill pistol. You have to be deadly accurate, and there is a big time in between shooting, getting the gun ready again for another shot, but it is absolutely deadly. I just love the idea of accuracy equaling a kill, so I used this, I'd say 90% of the time. There was another one that I used, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But this Annihilator pistol was absolutely insane. If you're accurate, it's going to work well for you. If you don't feel you've got the accuracy, don't use it, because there's a long time between every single shot, and you are very, very open in between the shots. Now, in terms of how it worked and how long you could use it for, as soon as you popped the Annihilator ability, this would start the countdown for how long you could actually use it for. If you didn't shoot any shots at all, I found that you could actually spend a little bit of time finding some enemies. It didn't deplete that quickly, but as soon as you started shooting, that would take big chunks out of the specialist bar, and once you'd fired, I believe, maybe 4 or 5 shots, that bar was gone and you can no longer use it again. So it's going to be short bursts of high accurate shots if you want to take out a load of people. Next up, we've got Seraph's ability, which is combat focus, and it temporarily adds a multiplier to your score to help you rack up score streaks. So for those of you guys that didn't see my score streak video for Black Ops 3, I earned the biggest streak in the game, the Mothership, 4 or 5 times while playing multiplayer, and nobody else earns it. And one of the ways I managed to earn it when playing, I didn't use this all the time, but one of the ways it helped me was using this combat focus ability. So in terms of the multiplier that you actually get for your score, it isn't constant. So some things will give you double score, some things will give you like 1.5 times score. Treyarch is still tuning all of that, but one really good way of using it was if you're playing domination, just jump onto an enemy flag, pop this combat focus, and you're instantly going to get, in this case, double score for capturing the flag. And if anyone comes at you while you're capturing, you can take them out, and again, you're getting extra score. It looks very, very cool when you're using this ability, because rather than the score coming up in white, it comes up in like a blue color, which looks really, really cool, and you know you're going to be earning yourself some awesome amount of score. It was a great way to earn that Mothership score streak, which was like lots and lots of score. So definitely, if you like to aim for those big score streaks, which I personally do, this is a really fun ability, and personally I think Seraph so far is definitely my favorite specialist character. So we covered 2 out of the 4. Let's jump on to Outrider. Special weapon being the Sparrow, a compound bow featuring explosives that stick to enemies. This thing was deadly. I personally didn't use it because I'd much rather have the instant shooting and accuracy of the Annihilator pistol, but the Sparrow has its own unique quirk in the fact that when you shoot someone and you stick them, it's going to have a big blast radius, or a decent blast radius. If it has any other nearby enemies, they're going to get caught in that and they're going to be killed as well. Now, they did say that the whole point of this was that you needed to stick people if you were shooting at the floor or shooting at walls. If an enemy walked past, that blast radius is not going to be very strong. It may hurt them a little bit, but it won't really kill them. So you need to be accurate. You need to be shooting at people. Once you shot at them, they'll literally blow up. You can see that within the reveal trailer as well. And the longer you hold down the bow force, so the longer you're pulling back on the bow, the more, the further distance it will go. So it's not one of those things you just pull back and shoot instantly. You've got to give it a little bit of time, and again, you've got to be really accurate. So this is the fun one. It's obviously awesome. People blowing up, an awesome, powerful bow, but I don't know if I'm going to be using it too much. We'll have to see when we're trying everything out in the beta. So Outrider's ability is Vision Pulse. Now, again, I didn't use this. I don't think I saw many other people using it, but it sounds like an interesting one, potentially controversial. It actually sends out like a little bit of a pulse around you, and it will sense nearby enemies and highlight them for a short period of time. So this is pretty much a wall hack, but in terms of how much you could see of the enemies, I believe it was a very faint outline. didn't last for very long, and its distance wasn't too far, so you couldn't see people across the map. It was more as if they were like maybe in the building next to you, or maybe just on the other side of the wall. So it's more useful for sort of short range use. But this definitely needs to be tuned and tweaked, because a lot of these, in general, a lot of these specialist abilities and weapons could be very overpowered very easily. So that's why having the beta for Black Ops 3 is going to be hugely useful to making sure that these abilities and weapons are as good as possible and as fair as possible when the game fully comes out on November the 6th, my birthday, which is going to be awesome. But anyway, going on to the final specialist character, we've got Reaper. Their power weapon is the Scythe. This is the first specialist power weapon we ever saw, and you may not have even realized it, because in the reveal trailer you actually saw this. This is a robot whose main arm changes into a minigun, and you can just start mowing people down. Absolutely mad, man. Absolutely mad. And we'll have seen it in action within, of course, the reveal trailer. But you've got to remember, this is like a typical minigun in the sense that long distance, not going to work too well. Close range, as long as you're on target, is just going to demolish people. And yeah, honestly, like, I have great fun using the minigun, say in Black Ops 1, for example, or when it popped up as well in Black Ops 2. So I am excited for this. I think it's going to be good fun. And if you like having a massive machine gun as a freaking arm, you're going to like this one as well. Finally, the last one that we know, an interesting one to say the least, is Reaper's ability, which is Glitch. Now, this is the most confusing one and also the craziest one, so let's try and break it down. Glitch essentially sends you back in time to whatever you were doing around 2 or 3 seconds before you use the ability. So let's give an example that was given to us. So the example that was given to us, you can of course wall run within this game. We've talked about that prior. If you haven't seen it, I've done it and talked about it within my movement video and breakdown trailer video of Black Ops 3. So essentially the example they gave us is that a player is running along the map as normal, jumps onto a wall and starts wall running along that wall. He's wall running for, let's say, 4 seconds. So he's been on the wall for about 4 seconds or so. But in that time, he's actually been chased the whole time, and someone has been wall running just behind him. That person behind him starts to shoot at him. He senses that really quickly, pops the glitch ability, which sends him back in time 2 or 3 seconds to a point where he is now in his position behind that enemy player that was shooting at him. So he's now in the advantageous position, shoots the enemy in the back, and has successfully used the glitch ability. It's crazy, and it sounds extremely overpowered, but you've got to think, if you're in the middle of a gunfight and you use this ability successfully, you've got to be extremely quick and very, very on point. So in terms of how it won't work, in terms of if you go up to a flag and pick up a flag and try and glitch back in time so that you've taken the flag with you and you're closer to bringing the flag back home, that's not going to work. If you go back in time, you never had that flag 2 or 3 seconds ago, so you've just wasted time. So that's not a good time to use it. You can use it defensively, as I said, if you're being shot at, then back out of a situation, head back to cover 2 or 3 seconds prior to that. But you can also use it aggressively. You can run into a room, take out some enemies, and then glitch, and you've glitched out of that room quicker than it would have taken you to run out of that room. That's a good way of using it. So by far the craziest ability and craziest specialist thing that we've been told so far, but I feel like it's very, very situational, and I think the best way to describe this is that there is a cloak exo in Advanced Warfare, and when everyone heard about this at first, they thought it would be really overpowered, really dumb, but in all honesty, not many people use it, and it's not that effective. I think Glitch is similar. I think you've got to be very, very on point, know how to use this effectively. I don't think too many people will end up using it, especially when you've got the option of using like a crazy Annihilator pistols, you know what I mean? So that is everything we know so far about specialists. We've only been told about 4 characters and both their special weapons and special abilities, which is 8 in total. You've got to remember, guys, there's 9 characters, so that's another 5 characters we do not know anything about. That's another 10 abilities to know about, which is awesome, and that means in total there's going to be 18 different things that we can jump in and use within multiplayer. Of course, you can only be using 1 per game, so if you want to try all these out one by one, that's 18 games you've got to go through. And I think honestly it's going to be a really cool, unique aspect to Black Ops 3. As long as it's balanced well, I think it's just going to add a lot of fun, and hopefully they're going to be all so diverse I'm going to be switching between them all the time and won't end up sticking with one. That's my personal opinion, is that I don't want to find myself using the same one over and over. I want to think that they're all so fun that I'm constantly changing up, and I hopefully that's going to be the case. So there we go, guys. I did not expect this video to be so long, but I just wanted to make sure it is as clear as possible. That's what I've done with all my Black Ops 3 videos so far, is just try to make them as in-depth, as clear as possible, and make sure you guys are getting all the information you need within a single video. So let me know what you guys are thinking of specialists. Do you think they're kind of overpowered? Do you think they're weird? Remember, there is the beta coming out before release, so we're all going to get a chance to test this out and really use it in action. But from my perspective, it's fun as long as it's balanced correctly. We're not, you've got to remember, let's give an example at the end of the video here. Say you're playing a TDM game. Say that TDM game is 5 minutes long. I talked about how long it's going to take you to earn those weapons. You're probably only going to be seeing each player using that special weapon once or twice in that TDM. Abilities, you're only going to see them come maybe 2 or 3 times in that game for a player. So it's not going to happen all the time, guys. But there we go. That is everything. I'm going to stop rambling. If you missed any of my recent Black Ops 3 videos, check them out on screen here, or just pop over to my channel. Thank you for watching. Probably the biggest change to Black Ops 3 multiplayer. Specialists, you've been filled in, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video.